Well, welcome to the first Threeholm takes. I've been doing a few videos with myself, talking to myself, and the idea there was that I was going to explore different ideas and talk to myself. I'm still going to do that. I have many other ideas that I want to do. The thing about that particular way of doing it is that, well, it's labor intensive. After I'm finished, I put together the audio and I edit it. It takes time. Everything takes time. This takes time. But this is a little faster. My approach here with takes is to just suss out some ideas that I have about what's going on. We all have ideas, but well, I was going to say not many of us explore putting them out there, but that's not true. Relatively few put their ideas out there, but it's gaining. There's a lot of people with a lot of ideas, and that's good. And I have mine. So this is going to be a no frills type of approach. So what am I going to talk about? Well, I don't know. Like tonight I had a few things I wanted to talk about, but well, let me give you an example. Julian Assange is or was arrested today in Ecuador. And I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen with him. I think he's going to be eventually extradited to the US to face charges of hacking. Now, his role in his own arrest is that, well, you know what it is. Spilling the beans on the government or governments. And, you know, when it first happened a while back, I was like, yeah, that's a good thing because our government is corrupt. And our government being the United States of America. In this case. And it's corrupt, and it needs to be exposed for all of its corruption. And while that may be true, I've since thought about it in other ways. Namely that when people reveal information that is best not revealed, they may claim it's of course a case-by-case situation. Huh. Is there something over here? Yes, there is. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Is that from here? Yeah, it sure is. Well, isn't that interesting? I had a purple dot the whole time I was talking. Purple dot. Because of this light. Let me introduce the light. See? Here's the light. It's bright. It looks like this purple bit right here is a lens flare. And I didn't like it. So, yeah, why don't I just leave that in? This is a no frills operation after all. Okay, so yes, information being released upon the world that maybe shouldn't be released because people that are dealing with that information know what they're doing at times. And although, you know, hooray, you're giving it to the man, sometimes that can create a lot more problems. I'm not sure what problems Assange caused. You know, there's, aside from what I've read in but I'm not up on all the problems he's caused, and neither are you, because you're not privy to that information. And maybe that's a good thing, and I think it is. So it's a strange line that we walk. We don't know what we're doing entirely. But we know that we want things to work without corruption. We know we want people to be fair, and we know that we want honesty. But it's complex. It really is. And it's not so easy as, I'm just going to release this information and you're going to understand that this information is for your own good. And now that everybody knows that this information is out there and they can access it, well, great, job done. It's not like that, I don't think. It's more complex than any of us know. Than any of us know. Even the people who are privy to the information. Everything is much more complex. The relationships between people, institutions, countries, organizations. It starts with the individual, always. And there's so many of us. And in each moment of the day, we change our minds. We're not consistent. Slightly different is a difference. So, given that us as the individual doesn't change, well, then it makes it a little more understandable how complex everything can be. So I was reading about him and his arrest on social media, and somebody commented that, if it had been in America, the old go-to, if it had been in America, he would have been shot dead or something along those lines. And I think that's a dangerous outlook to spread. I think it's not always happening in the U.S. It does happen. The police, of course, have abused their power, as in all countries. How much? I don't know. But the comment was more than just it's always happening in America. It was that it was disproportionately happening to minorities. But I don't understand how that... I mean, I understand what the person's saying, but I don't understand why the notion that we're individuals isn't more understood by people. I'm not a group. You're not a group. We don't even belong to a group. We may think we do, but each person has a different idea of what a group is. It's the individual. So there are individuals that run up against police brutality. But I would say that for the most part, for the overwhelming majority of time, individuals are treated fairly. But of course, the standouts are the poorly behaved people, both from the law side and the perpetrator. Yeah, are they unfair? At times they are. Is it complex and something that we can't fully understand? Yes, it is true that it is complex, and it is something that we cannot fully understand because we're not in the mind of the individual perpetrator or police. But the bigger issue with me is that it was said as fact that it's just, what was the word? It was an epidemic. Yeah, that's not a healthy conversation right there. So how to deal with that? Well, I told this person what I felt. I said, I don't think you're right. I don't think it's an epidemic, but that didn't help. And so the challenge for any of us is to be able to get our ideas out there in a way that they can be compelling enough to be listened to and considered. And at the same time, not be so compelling for, in our own relationship with these ideas, that we can't hear or consider other people's ideas as well. I mean, it seems that a lot of people aren't going to argue with anybody who would think that the earth is a flat disk. Some people do, but I don't think most people do. And there are other ideas that I think are not as easy to understand how they're gone wrong as that the earth is a flat disk rather than a sphere. Yeah. And there are many times when I feel like I'm up against everybody. I know that's not the case, but nobody I'm talking with at a particular time, at times, is in any way agreeing with me or wanting to agree with me, but yet I also find that they engage. They hang around, if only to try and convince me that they are correct. And I would like to be convinced that somebody's correct. It means that I can move on from that point. I don't have to continue to push whatever idea that I think is the correct one. And these ideas extend, education, race is a big one for me. Or what is race? The individual, what's important, what has value, what doesn't, consciousness, what is conscious. Many ideas that free will, that I find very interesting, and I want to talk about them. Now here we are coming up on 13 minutes, and I just wanted to make this a quick one. So that's going to be the challenge for me, is how will I bring this takes down to under 5 minutes? Well, that's what I want. That's a goal. But here it is, in all of its warts. The first Threeholm takes. April 12th, 2019.